Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday morning podcast. It's actually kind of late. It's about 11 a.m. here. Um, I've been thinking a lot lately about Rockman. I love the Megaman games. I don't particularly like the first game that came out for the NES, but every Megaman game that I've played, I'm talking about just regular Mega Man, not Mega Man X. I love. I always come back to play those. It's always like sometimes you get burnt out on playing NES. Well, when I hear me out though. When I say you get burnt out, you've went through every possible game you could play. Even if you go into ROMs, into emulators, and you think about that, then you find hidden gems like Alan found this Hammer and Harry game that's fucking awesome, and that's also a Game Boy game. Very very awesome. Totally dig it. Yeah, it's like sometimes it's so exhausting because there's so many Nintendo games to get into. But what I'm saying, when I get burnt out on going through, like, I don't know, alphabetical order of, I'll play through the Castlevania series 1,000 times, and I'm not really into hacks, so I don't really count those, so I really don't play those. But yeah, Castlevania's, 1, 2, and 3, two's kind of garbage, but does has most iconic imagery and music in Castlevania history. Bloody Tears is like the best of all time. The first Castlevania game is probably my favorite, just because it's fucking hard, but it's one of those sweet spot kind of hards. Whereas Dracula's Curse, the third one, it's just really brutally fucking hard. Like, it's unforgiving. It makes you fucking master that game. You can probably kill vampires yourself now with your belt after you beat Castlevania 3. You feel accomplished. But yeah, fatigue. Vintage NES game fatigue. It happens. It happens to the best of us. The system's only been out, I don't know, 32 years. So every time I get just really exhausted with the whole NES collection playing, besides switching to another system, also, you go back and you're like, oh, I'm done with NES for a little bit, and go play Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Master System. The Sega Master System is a system that will surprise you. There's a lot of good games on there. I had no clue because I wasn't a Sega kid, really. I mean, we got a Sega Genesis, the original Model 1 from a pawn shop when I was little, though. That was in 95, 94 or something. It was great, but I had no clue about the Master System. There's a game called Wonder Boy. The Wonder Boy series is good. Fantasy Zone. And Andrew showed me a game. It's kind of like Castlevania, only you still walk around hitting like candles, and there's like beasties and stuff, but you don't have a whip. You use like a knife, and sometimes you use a gun, and the gameplay is basically the same. And right now, for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of that game, but it's also really good. It's a hidden gem. Yeah, Master System will scare you about how did I not know about this? How could I have not circled around at this point? Because I just got into it like maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. But once you go digging deep, and also let's go ahead and cover N64 games. There's a lot of hidden gems in N64. It's really good. Shadows of the Empire, for some reason, I love that game. It may not be perfect, but I fucking love it. That's a good N64 game. That kind of, it was a launch title. Kind of gets overlooked in the big shuffle, but I think there are a lot of reviewers that coming back to it and looking at it and being like, you know what, that game was pretty good for what it was. Blast Corps was really good. Switching over, just a lot of N64. I don't explain it. Conker's Bad Fur Day, Mario 64. Always all the classics, but there's a few hidden gems, like Sin and Punishment is a shooter that's really fucking awesome. For the 64, I never would have been able to play it if it wasn't for emulation at this point, because it was basically a $300 cart now. Also, I think it's just a Japanese game. But then from there, you go to Sega CD, which I just recently got into. Apparently, like, the only real true standout classics in there are like the when they remastered and put like Lufia on there, because the music's awesome, and FMVs. Snatcher, Hideo Kojima's like early game. It's supposed to be really good on the Sega CD, but Sonic CD is fucking amazing. That's probably the best 2D Sonic I've ever played. Like, it hits all the sweet spots, the music's cool, everything about it's awesome. I'm not too big into Sonic, but I respect, and I love a few of the games. I don't, like I said, I was a Nintendo, still a Nintendo-tard, but I still respect my Sega a lot, and Sonic CD is amazing. So, from Sonic CD, you're like, damn, there's Neo Geo, and there's a billion games for that. Metal Slug, the whole series is basically badass. The billions of 2D fighters, I think pretty much you can find any niche. Say if you didn't like King of Fighters 1 or 95 or something, you switch to some weird obscure 2D fighter that Neo Geo made back in the day. And that's also a product of emulation because the carts are literally $600. The system itself is pretty pricey, but you're collecting for it, that's too much. That's too much. I can't go that far. Also don't condone piracy, but if it wasn't, that's just too expensive, dude. I buy the games that I really, really love. And most of them already do own already. I just like playing them in a condensed form, say like on my PSP or something. Okay, what else? What other vintage kind of stuff? The Game Boy games are amazing. Game Boy, Game Gear. Game Gear is basically a portable Master System anyways. So, when you go through the whole gamut of retro, quote-unquote, I hate the term retro gaming. When we say, I'm a retro gamer, it's got to the point where it's kind of nauseating. Just say that you're, I love retro games, but, I don't try to label my shit. It's been oversaturated, like the internet, or at least YouTube. There's some legit guys that do retro gaming stuff, but most of the time it's just jerking themselves off. And they're trying to jerk you off while they're jerking off. That's what most retro gamer, quote-unquote, YouTube channels are now. But once you go through this whole cycle, I'm 32 now, you come back around and, you're fatigued, you're burnt out on it. And let's talk about something. Listen, everybody. Megaman is fucking amazing. I love those games. To me, they're up there with Mario 3, all the Mario games, Zelda games, for the NES. Because that is stone cold classic shit. Because it gets me going. It reminded me why I love the Nintendo so much. Is Megaman. Freaking Megaman. Like I said, not the first game, but 2 on down. I love them all. You can nitpick and be like, well, it's basically the same game. But yeah, sure. But it's like basically just, there's different stages. And, the weapons do change a lot. Some of them get nerfed. Some of them become Hoss cats. And the rush coil thing, it slightly changes from 4 to 6 with the rush coil. And also the collecting Mega Man letters, kind of like a collectathon, mini collectathon. But Mega Man's perfect, dude. That's a perfect gameplay. That's a gameplay formula. Shoot, slide, jump. Hard as balls, but fair. It's hard as balls, but fair. Like, if you beat a Mega Man game, you felt like you've done something. And you feel like a badass afterwards. I mean, you really do. Jump, slide, shoot. It sounds simple, but that's why Mega Man works. Because it is a game. You think the story fucking matters? You think it's graphics driven? No. I mean, there's like barely any graphical improvement from Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 6 on the NES. Barely. And I beat them all, man. I beat all the NES ones. Actually, I'm gonna lie to you, didn't beat the first game. That was an experiment to me. I just can't handle it. I will eventually go around to beating Mega Man 1. Just give me shit about it. But I beat 5 of the 6 Mega Man games on the NES and enjoyed every one of them. And that was also during a time where, like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I need to play something else. Go to a different system, get bored of that, then go through the Nintendo library. It's like, this doesn't look interesting to me at all. Oh, Mega Man. I don't play that one. Play Mega Man 5. And bam, you're hooked in love. That's how I am with Mega Man. Also, I have the Mega Man 9 and 10 on the Wii. 9 is that's 9 is amazing. Mega Man 9 is up there. Mega Man 10's pretty good though. I ain't gonna lie, because there's a lot more content to it. You can play as Proto Man and Bass in that one, and also you can play. I think you can play as Proto Man in Mega Man 9. I'm pretty sure. Haven't beat 10. It's fucking brutal towards the end. It is a fucking marathon of wits. It's really hard. The last little bits is cheap. I will say it's some cheap damage you take in some spots, but it's really fucking good. So, with that being said, it's been announced that there's going to be a mainline Mega Man game, Mega Man 11, coming out next year. And there's a launch trailer for it now, and it's coming to the Switch. And they went with basically the 2.5D model here. And it looks great. I might link it in the subscription or in the thing below or the comments or something. But yeah, just check it out. It looks fucking badass. If you love Mega Man, just normal, straight up, jump, slide, shoot Mega Man, then it looks great. It looks like they're adding some shit. And the 2.5D graphics are really good. And let's go ahead and talk about this now. What was that Kickstarter game that came out from one of the cheerleaders / producers of Mega Man? Mighty Number 9. Maybe that game was so wonky just because there was like some type of conflict between the new Mega Man 11 that was coming out, which no one knew about till like today or yesterday. And that's why Mighty Number 9 sucks so bad. But I haven't played it. I can't comment on it. But, it's internet's right. It's a book of knowledge, I guess. I want to play it. It's out on PC. I think also the 3DS, I'm not for sure. But they're kind of obscure to find. Doesn't matter. That's probably why that game was so wonky and nerfed. It's because if you're trying to... You can't reinvent Mega Man, if someone else is going to put out Mega Man. But Capcom's treated their fucking licenses the past couple years, past basically a decade, like shit. Resident Evil went downhill fast. Then it just rebooted itself with the original 7. Then, sorry guys, Street Fighter fucking sucks. It's terrible. Street Fighter 5, 4, they are not good games. It's like they take steps backwards with it. Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever the new one is, Infinity War or Infinity Gems or something, the graphics are pretty bad. I mean, I'm not a graphics kind of guy, but how can you still... The characters don't even look like... They look vaguely like they do. Like, Dante looks like a Mongoloid. You can tell it's Dante, but it's not no signature features or whatever. The roster's bad because of the licensing problem with Disney and Fox. Well, mainly, I guess, Fox and Sony with X-Men and Spider-Man. So that fucking blows. And basically, I haven't played it either, but it looks like garbage. And Mega Man Legends 2, well, 3, was it 3? Yeah, 3. That was basically made, but Capcom fucking pulled the plug on that and then went completely mum about anything Mega Man related for years until today with a Mega Man 11 coming out very soon. Also, like it matters, the Mega Man collections are also coming out for the Switch. I didn't get it because I just picked and choose the ones I want to play when I'm taking a shit on a 3DS. But also there's going to be a Mega Man X collection, which is no duh. I'm not a big fan of the X series. Maybe I need to come back around to it or something, but like I said, jump, shoot, slide. That's all I care about. And it's just, I don't like the Robot Masters in the Mega Man X series. They're not bad games, don't get me wrong. X4 is amazing. it's not my cup of tea. I like, I like the little blue bomber exclusively, and you already know what I'm gonna say. Jump, shoot, slide. You know. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if we pick up some data here. Okay, yeah. Mega Man 11 is coming to the Switch in late 2018. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 coming to Switch in spring with Amiibo support. All the Mega Man X games are coming to the Switch in summer of 2018, which means, is that going to be a bundle, or do you have to buy them separately? Because I think Mega Man X was on the 3DS eShop. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's something. That's amazing. I'm really fucking happy for that. I'm really excited for Mega Man 11. About fucking time. I bet you there's going to be like, I already see the videos now. Being like, Capcom, you fucking suck, but now I think you're pretty cool. That's basically going to be the gist of the internet backlash on that. Thank God for Mega Man. Love that dude. Okay, let's talk about Mega Man Legends. A dungeon crawler Mega Man game? You're like, what the fuck? That sounds awesome. What do you think about it? It's like a 3D dungeon crawler Mega Man. It's really good. It was kind of weird getting used to the controls when it first came out, but I played the shit out of the first one and got halfway through the second one, and the second one's fucking hard. Like, it's really hard. Like the first fight against Bone or whatever her name is, you're underpowered. You are relying on the old Mega Man tricks of pattern recognition and just sliding, running, dodging, rolling. Yeah, it's a hard game. But yeah, this also has a weird fucking storyline. It's like some strange religious cult lives in this like snow area. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't beat the second one, but I was picking up on the notes where you have to go to a church and talk to these people. Then you have to get your license updated with the same people, which means you can learn new moves and you can use this, new upgrades and stuff. Yeah, there's a weird religious subtext there. It's very wacky. Great game. Yeah, I'm actually, I won't say that I like the Mega Man Legends series more than I like the X series. That's taking it too far. But they're really good too. Capcom used to make really good games. And I think what really happened is, how many fucking Stone Cold classics can you make? I mean, Street Fighter 2, for one. Resident Evil, come on. Mega Man. I mean, these are like the Beatles of fucking gaming franchises here. It's like, how many good albums can you put out without, quality going down? The Final Fight series is good. That's a good beat 'em up. Sometimes I prefer it over Streets of Rage. So I'm thinking maybe this ran out of juice. And also I think maybe Japan's over video games. I think this America is what's keeping it afloat. I'm sure they still play them, but I think it's just they're more into not console game, more into portable gaming, and that's where I think Konami shifted most of their stuff into slot machines, and I think Capcom also saw the market change and went towards that as well. So I don't know. I just couldn't imagine. Like, just think about it, guys, gals. You're the person who developed Resident Evil, okay, and Street Fighter 2, one of the most revered, highly ripped off 2D fighting game of all time. Like, what do you do after that? You try to make it better. It's all they tried to do, is try to, I guess, improve on it. Then, I guess, especially for Resident Evil's case, it only took, was it 20 years? Whoa, it took him about 20 years to shit the bed on that. Wow. Yeah. See, people love you when you're awesome, but you do one thing bad, they fucking hate you for life. Capcom, Konami, that's what happens. It's like, I'm grateful for the shit they've done. I'm not gonna, like throw him under the bus because he makes some bad business decisions or whatever. It sucks, but how long could you kick ass for that long? You know, without fucking up. You're not a god, you know, you're still human, and you're still making silly things for kids to stare at and drool over and eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew to. You know, how far can you take that art form? There are some serious artists out there. Hideo Kojima's an artist. Shigeru Miyamoto is an artist. Suda 51 are artists. It's kind of like directors. There's a lot of shitty films that come out. Like, overly processed. Talking about mainly comic book, anything Disney puts out. And, you know, and it's as I'm saying, it's really bad. It's just really processed. So, in the film industry, there are still some people that kind of respect film and direct really good films. Like, I would say Martin Scorsese. He still kicks ass. This is going to go probably either way with you guys, but I enjoy Wes Anderson. He's a filmmaker. You know, has a very distinct style. You know, you're like, oh, that's obviously Wes Anderson film. See here, oh, dude, the guy that directed Ghost Dog, Jim Jarmusch. He's a filmmaker. No, this is also going to sound lame, but Quentin Tarantino. He's a filmmaker. Has a very Quentin Tarantino thing to his films. John Carpenter was the best of all time. See, these people are artists. And there's a lot of artists that take the medium seriously and then make something other than something like EA, something just to fucking take your money. They want an experience. You know, they create something. I know I sound like a libtard right now. But it's good to understand the difference. It's really good to understand what's processed. And here's someone that had a vision and he saw it through, whether it sucked or not, he saw it all the way through. That was his vision 100%. So, you know, I'm excited. I know video games are part of degenerative behavior. Thank you, Jordan Peterson, you motherfucker. Always got to be saying that phrase now. But, hey, we're humans. And, you know, you used to think about all those times. You know, people tell you to read books all the time. Which is good. Nothing wrong with that. But it comes to a point, like, if all you're doing is reading books, then that is degenerative behavior to me. Because why would you have someone tell you about something cool when you can actually go outside and do something cool? See what I'm getting at? And all these digital accomplishments I have in video games I used to be sad about because, like, what's the point of all this shit? Why am I still playing video games? I'm like 32. Then I realized it's just something to keep you entertained. I love it. I love video games. The good ones. You know, I love the good ones. You know, I'm not one of those people, well, I'll pretty much play anything. Which is fine. I just have to pick and choose my time wisely. You know, and if I'm going to get into it, I'm going to get into it. And that's what the love of anything is about. Always finding something new about it and igniting a new flame. And that's what Megaman did for me. And I'll always appreciate Megaman for that. Got me through some slumps. Depression, I guess. That's what Megaman's good for. This is the Tuesday morning Megaman podcast. Appreciate you guys listening. I'll see you next week.